It's Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019. As I come to you this afternoon, gold is up $35. Bond yields plummeting below 2%. Do you really believe that this is normal behavior in a healthy economy? I hope everybody's having a wonderful afternoon today. As I come to you right now, gold is up $35. Silver is at $15.34 an ounce. So we have gold over $1,400 an ounce. We have silver over $15 an ounce. And we have bond yields plummeting below 2%. So I don't know if there's some nervousness because of the China and U.S. trade talks, that nothing's really going on other than just talk. We just keep getting the same message that talks are going well, negotiations are going well, and nothing's happening. Maybe these markets are anticipating that China is going to hold out. Maybe they're going to wait till the elections are over to see who wins, and maybe they're just going to try and weather this storm. Or maybe it has nothing to do with that at all. Maybe there is some nervousness now of this market slowing down, the global market slowing down, uncertainty, the massive amounts of debt here and across the globe. It could be an array of different things that we're now seeing a run to the metals, to bonds, and these are alarms. And this is why I continue to sound the alarm, why I repeat on a daily basis why you need to be holding hard, tangible assets like gold and silver. Gold, over $1,400, silver, over $15. This is dirt cheap for the two most undervalued assets in the entire world. And I believe that every one of you needs to be holding at least some of these assets. As I've said many times in the past, I refer anybody that's going to buy online, SD Bullion. They are my go-to. I have a link down below. If you need to get gold or silver, go to my link, SD Bullion. They are phenomenal. I cannot say enough about them. But whenever I do an online order, SD Bullion is where I go. But let's get back into what's happening here. So we're seeing an increase in the price of gold and silver again. We're seeing bond yields plummeting. What is going on? Again, it could be many, many different things. But I want to go over this list that I just printed out about 15 minutes ago. And these are your U.S. Treasury bond yields. The 3-month is at 2.205. It is up. It is inverting with the U.S. 2-year at 1.7. It is inverting with the U.S. 5-year at 1.7. It's inverting with the U.S. 10-year at 1.9. So you have the 3-month at 2.205 inverting with the 2-year, the 5-year, and the 10-year. So again, metals rising, bond yields plummeting. What does this all mean? This does not make sense in a booming economy, in a healthy economy. So there is uncertainty out there. Another reason why I promote gold and silver, and let me be quite clear again for any trolls out there, I do not sell gold, I do not sell silver. I buy gold, I buy silver. You could consider me a stacker, but I am a buyer. I do not work for anybody, I do not sell. But when you read an article like this, it just came out on Zero Hedge today, Georgia court system hit by ransomware attack. And we're seeing things like this happening on a daily basis, whether it's in government offices, hospitals, other institutions, where they're having these cyber attacks and they're having to pay out ransom. What happens when we start seeing major cyber attacks here in America that might be done by Russia, Iran, China, God knows who? What's going to happen if your EBT system doesn't work in your state? What if your banking system doesn't work? What if your grocery store system goes down? Like we just saw a couple weeks ago, all the Target stores, all their systems were down for the weekend. And you've really got to start thinking right now, because so much is going on. We just had 14 people killed on a Russian nuclear submarine that had had some type of fire. And these 14 sailors, I guess, died of smoke inhalation. And we don't really know exactly what happened. There's a lot of stories circulating right now with what might have happened. But, between what's happening in Iran right now, the trade war with China, the invasion that we're seeing taking place right here in America, our relationship with Russia, cyber attacks happening now literally on a daily basis here in America. It's well known that we did a cyber attack on Iran. What if, there's retaliation? Anything is quite possible. Our grid is very, very fragile. And I just think that you really, really need to be preparing every which way you possibly can. And right now we're talking economically, but you really need to be preparing with your security, your food, your water. We're seeing, I think a lot of you have probably seen a lot of the videos. I have to be very careful what I say here. I don't want this video shadow banned, but we saw a real resurgence of violence in some of our larger urban cities over the weekend. I won't say the domestic group that was involved, but I think most of you can figure it out. But some journalists were severely beaten, severely injured. One had a brain bleed. A couple other individuals were attacked and hit over the head with crowbars and rods and sliced up really, really bad. And we are starting to see another resurgence that what we saw over the last couple years. It's been kind of quiet lately, but now that summer is here and we're coming in to the 2020 elections, I believe we're going to see a massive surge in violence taking place here in America, and all the more reason why you need to be prepared. These are the good times, and I always say, imagine what's going to happen during the bad times. And I want every one of you to be prepared to the best of your abilities. And this is why I believe everybody out there needs to be preparing on a daily basis, walking closer to God, getting in better physical shape, taking care of all your preps, topping them off, making sure that you have an emergency fund, cash, tangible assets put away. And most of all, security. If you don't have that, nothing else matters. So make sure that you're walking closer to God. Make sure that you're out training and taking care of your security. Because when I watch these things on the news and I'm seeing people assaulted, and literally, luckily nobody got killed, but just imagine if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, or this group of people comes into your neighborhood, or the grid is down, the EBT system's down, the food services are down, people are hungry, they're thirsty. Do you not think these people are coming to your town? Do you think these people aren't coming to your house? They're not going to knock, okay? They're coming in, they're going to kick doors down, break through windows, and they're going to take things, okay? This is why you don't want to be unprepared. So let's step back from the social issues and take a look at the economic issues here. I read an article today, this was on Zero Hedge, why a third of Americans have cut spending over the last year. And I'm going to paraphrase through this article, but people have cut spending because a lot of people are tapped out. They have nothing left to spend. Their credit cards are tapped. They have nothing in the bank. They're literally a flat tire away from being homeless, so they cannot spend. Then you have other people that are cutting back because they're showing some restraint. They're seeing uncertainty in the future. They're seeing uncertainty in the economy. They're worried. And so these people are putting aside money and being much more conservative, and maybe only buying things that they need, not things that they don't need. So, these are people waking up. In this article, it talks about the present economic situation, how it's often compared to 2008. I compare a lot of what's happening to 2008. In fact, I feel like we're in 2007 right now. But when you dig down deep, you do some due diligence, you investigate, you read, you do your homework, where we're at right now economically is much more similar to 1929, and that should scare every one of you. Margin debt is at an all-time high and complacency is at a maximum. And this is really concerning that whether you say these are similar numbers to 2008 or we're seeing similarities to 1929, the amount of complacency with the general public going out there, partying, going to sporting games, baseball, football, basketball, what have you, reality TV, smoking dope every day, sitting on the couch, 400 pounds, not a care in the world, wearing their slippers to Walmart, going to dinner in their pajamas, living life on a credit card, living on government subsidy. Not a care in the world. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about this country. They don't care about you. They have no care in the world. But I promise you, they're going to have major cares when this market collapses, because these are going to be the people that are the most affected because they're the most unprepared. They are in la la land. They are in dreamland. They're in their little bubbles. And when this big bubble pops, these big market bubbles pop, their little bubbles are going to pop, and these people are going to get demolished. And do not, I repeat, do not be one of these people. I know most of you out there watching this are way too damn smart and know better. But if you're new to this, because this is a old message for new viewers, but if you're new to this, you do not want to be one of these people. These people are going to lose. Regards to this market, to the stock market, the only thing fueling this bull market right now is debt. When the market collapses, it's going to collapse quickly. We know that the biggest stock market bubble in history is happening right now, and it's only a matter of time before this thing bursts. We have other problems. We have, we have major bubbles. Unlike any time in our history, there are multiple bubbles taking place at the same time. This is what is going to make this collapse so dangerous. The stock market bubble, but we also have one that is also very, very dangerous, and it's the bond bubble. This is a far higher level of investment in the bond market. It's a higher investment level than the stock market, and therefore has the potential to do far more damage in a crash. Bonds are presently in a bubble of epic proportions, and with every month, the foundation beneath is crumbling more due to the increasing dumping of these bonds. Alan Greenspan just came out and he said that we're in a bond market bubble where prices are too high. The bond bubble will eventually be the critical issue. I'm sure most people are aware watching this that we are in a real estate bubble, and apparently a lot of people didn't learn their lesson in 2008, but they're going to learn a very valuable lesson when this next bubble bursts. We never let the real estate market fully collapse in 2008, and by doing so, we never let prices fall to where they should have been. In fact, prices in real estate should be much, much lower than they are right now, and they would if we didn't have artificial injections, quantitative easing, and all this printed money come in and try and save the system. The system should have been allowed to fail. In a free market, prices would fall where they would fall, and we would know the real price of these assets like real estate if in a free market, if this free market was allowed to function, we would know what these asset prices really were. So while they were falling, the Federal Reserve is coming in, injecting money, helicopter money, quantitative easing, the printing presses are overheating to save this thing from a full-on meltdown or a full-on depression. In doing so, we never got the real lows. We never got the real prices of these assets. As these bubbles in real estate are being inflated, we are going to see a major correction in real estate. All of this manipulation all of this artificial injection that took place, all the decade of low to 0% interest rates, all this has not fixed the problem. It's made it worse. We are still in the same sinking boat. All of this debt, we use debt. We put this country into massive debt during these bailouts, bailing out foreign banks, bailing out automakers, rewarding these institutions and bankers for making bad decisions. In a free market, these people and these banks should not have existed. These people should have been in prison, and these banks should have been put out of business. But it was not allowed to fall. And so here we are today, the automakers having dismal sales, going to get themselves into big trouble again, housing market slowing down, and we are going to see a major correction in housing, and we're going to see a massive correction in commercial real estate. This article made a really good point, and I think most of you can relate to this. It says a majority of investors are holding on to their bonds, clapping their hands over rising sale prices on homes in their neighborhood, and considering taking out a loan to buy more stocks on margin. It goes on to say the collapse will come to most as a complete surprise. This one will be of unprecedented proportion. You know, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, these people, dazed and confused, they're in a fog, they're in a coma, they're just, you know, they're spaced out. They're just living the dream, living in the land of milk and honey, thinking it's never going to end, that those government checks are going to keep coming in, or you know, that 9-to-5er they have is going to be there forever, or their full-time job and the 2 side hustles, that, you know, that's just the way it's going to be. I have a news flash to everybody out there. If you are not preparing for what is coming, it does not matter what kind of job you have, how many hours you work, you are going to be severely affected socially, politically, and financially with the environment that is coming to America. And, you know, people sitting in their little cubicles all day, working their 9-to-5ers, or, you know, whatever type of job people may have, you know, these people just, a lot of times their whole life is their job, and that's it. 9-to-5, go home, eat, watch TV, go to sleep, go sit in an hour of traffic, go back to the cubicle, you know, back at the bank, back at the retail store, you know, back at the construction company. And they just believe that there is no life outside of this bubble they live in, that they can't be affected, that their job's not going to be affected. Man, you know, we really have a society of zombies. And I, without a doubt, believe that 90% of this country is unprepared for what is coming, and they are going to be taken by surprise because they have listened to the television. They've listened to all these analysts on these financial shows who are there they're there to do nothing but sell you stocks and sucker you into these markets. They're suckering you to the roulette table, to the poker table. And people are going to just get wiped out. So if you're relying on your retirement, your 401k, your pension, your job, if you're relying on the police to protect you, the banking system to keep your money safe, you're going to be in big trouble, because the only thing you can rely on is you. I'm going to leave it there on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Much is happening in this world. Please continue to prepare. Do not become complacent. There is so much happening. You need to really be preparing, because this thing is getting very, very close. And you could wake up one morning and your entire life and your entire country can be changed literally overnight. God bless every one of you. Make sure that we are praying for this president. Make sure that we are praying to God. Thank God that we live here and that we are here for a purpose. and that we still have an opportunity to make a change, to prepare, and to wake people up, and most of all, wake ourselves up and be ready to get involved in whatever we have to do for this great country. God bless every one of you. I'll talk to you very soon.